joining me again for another Pixie Talks review vlog.
Pixie Talks, reviews and vlogs at Pixie Talks. Pixie Talks, reviews and vlogs at Pixie Talks.
Woo! Okay, we've still got a lot of October to cover before it's Halloween, so let's enjoy the spooktacular while it's here. And since it is still Halloween month, please consider checking out the new vampire-themed t-shirt design in the Redbubble store. So this week, I'll be looking at a vampire anime from earlier this year, Seraph of the End.
I don't want nobody to get killed.
Seraph of the End is from earlier 2015, but the second season will begin airing this month. Now, I have made it a point to try to seek out and find, like, every vampire anime out there, give or take some of the harder to find ones, and in general, anime doesn't really tend to do vampires the way I like. There are a few that have nailed the atmosphere and the general creepiness inherent to the genre, but most of them are that broody angstiness a la Twilight that vampire movies have more recently become. That said, I had high hopes for Seraph of the End. It's a post-apocalyptic supernatural fantasy story wherein a disease has wiped out most of humanity, and the remnants have been conquered and saved as livestock for the vampires which have taken over the planet. Most of humanity is captive to the vampire nobles, but there is a small contingency of free humans who are fighting back against the vampire menace. There are also giant monsters that roam the earth now, just to complicate things, as well as demonic beings that can possess a person if their hearts are impure, but if you trap them inside of a weapon, then that weapon can then be used to more efficiently fight vampires. And also, some people have been experimented on with angel blood. The problem with Seraph of the End is that it sounds cool in theory, but in actuality there's just too many plot threads and ideas floating around in it that just don't flow together very well. The world building is sloppy and overly complicated. It seems like it's just as ludicrously over the top as it is, just for the purpose of keeping its audience guessing as to what on earth is going on, without actually putting any effort into bringing it all together coherently. And I get that it's trying to use Revelation prophecy as mythology in order to achieve a cool concoction of end-of-the-world time epicness, but it just comes off as ridiculously convoluted. But that also brings me to its other glaring fault. It is super boring. And it really shouldn't be, you know? A premise as ridiculous as this, a group of guerrilla warfare fighters against a regime of vampire overlords, really should be action-packed and exciting, but it just isn't. The narrative moves at a glacial pace. It's overly focused on odd slice-of-lifey moments between the characters, which would be fine if there was any actual character development being achieved, but there really isn't. It spends its time meandering through typical high school anime tropes while tossing in a bit of the, oh yeah, we fight vampires too, almost forgot, in there. Now as for how it treats its vampire characters, that at least is pretty darn good. The vampires are chillingly evil, from their designs on world domination to how much they love toying with their meals. It's a shame that the show doesn't focus more on them because they are actually really quite scary, which is just how they should be. Of course, there is one exception, the best friend turned vampire who is still conflicted over his old loyalties. But still, his angle is rather ambiguous. He hasn't wholeheartedly joined the vampires, but he doesn't really feel much affiliation with humans anymore either. He's probably the most intriguing and interesting character in the whole thing, even if he is the prototypical good guy vampire. The artwork is also stellar, I have to say. I love every character design here, and the execution is absolutely beautiful. That said, it's a bit bright to match what I feel should be an eerier tone. The action sequences are also hit and miss. Sometimes they are fully rendered, and other times it can suffer from moving still syndrome. But all in all, I find the artwork quite lovely in this show. Will I watch the next season? Maybe. There is the potential there for the second season to be a much more engaging ride than the first one was. The stage stage is set for where the story is going. It's just kind of annoying that it took an entire season to get there. I guess in the end this is to be added to the list of vampire animes that were just a bit on the disappointing side. Well, that's it for my review of Seraph of the End. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please be sure to subscribe for more. You can also, of course, add me on Facebook for more updates. And come join me next week for some more spooky Halloween horror. See you then. Bye!
Come and get you.